and I'm going to discuss NFC West, possibly the most loaded, best division in the NFC, at possibly the NFL, at the very least the NFC. Um, all four teams could make the playoffs, which is technically possible with three wildcard teams now. If that's going to happen anytime soon, where all four teams in the same division make the playoffs, that could be the time with the NFC West. Starting with the 49ers, the question is, can they stay healthy? That didn't remotely happen last year, but the talent is there on both sides of the ball. The other question is, how much of a loss is it to lose Saleh, who was an excellent defensive coordinator? The Jets wanted him as a head coach for a reason. Uh, those two things being said, as far as Garoppolo or Trey Lance, I don't know. They spent 3 first-round picks on Trey Lance, so if he's anything other than great, he should be considered a bust. But Garoppolo, when he stays healthy, is a competent quarterback. He showed that in 2019. So that's what I'll say about them. The Rams lost a few good players in their secondary. They lost their defensive coordinator. Another concern for them is they have bad depth. They have some excellent players, but then horrible depth behind them. So they're really thin at some important position. Like if Ramsey goes down, who do they have next, for example? But the talent is there, and there's really no question that Matthew Stafford is an upgrade. I think the Rams just might have the highest ceiling this year, but they're also really thin, so that's a concern. And then the Cardinals, my opinion for them is if the Cardinals don't make the playoffs this year, this will be Kingsbury's last season in the NFL, at least as a head coach, and rightfully so. He hasn't really shown anything to deserve the position of being a head coach, in my opinion. This should be his last year as a head coach if they don't make the playoffs. He's had enough time to assemble a team how he wants. If it doesn't happen this year, I think he's gone. And finally, more about the Cardinals. They have some talent on the roster, but it's just, I think the head coach is a problem. I think my opinion, as long as Kingsbury is their head coach, they're not going to go far. He's holding the team back. They have some good players, but I don't like Kingsbury. As long as he's their head coach, I'm never going to think they make the playoffs. That's just me. And then for my Seahawks, we are a talented team too. My main concern is this. There's no question in my mind that Shane Waldron is a better offensive coordinator than Schottenheimer. There's no question. The only concern I have is it's our first year with the new offensive coordinator. There could be growing pains, especially now because we're going from a simple, watered down offense to a very more complex one. So there could be growing pains. I hope that's not the case, but I'm prepared for it. If and only if the offense starts clicking pretty much immediately and there aren't growing pains and they master this concepts fast, then that would be a very strong team. We have some talent this year, despite having a very small draft. That we could have a very high ceiling, but the main possible thing holding the team back is my understanding is it usually takes a year or two for players to learn a new scheme. Especially in this case, we're going from something simple to something complex. That's my only concern. As far as who do I think will win the division, I'm not going to pretend I know. I think the Cardinals are out of the question just because I don't like Kingsbury, but other than that, anything goes.